Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope all of you guys are doing well in these tough times, and thank you so much for joining this virtual event. And of course, I hope all of you guys are having an amazing day so far, and hopefully, you guys are not too tired from school. Anyway, before we start, I would like to open the session with a prayer. So let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for letting us have this virtual event and join this virtual event. May everything that will be included in this event be helpful to all of us and maybe help us as a stepping stone to our future. In your name we pray, Lord. Amen. Now, hi again, everyone. My name is Jessica Quinn, and today I'll be joining you along with our speaker in this session to hopefully sort out any confusion you have on studying abroad, particularly in North America, which, by the way, you guys, includes the United States of America and Canada. But what exactly are we doing today? I'm going to clarify again for everyone. We are not just going to talk about choosing your career path. We're going to talk deeper. We're going to talk more about how to get there and to finally determine the step to your educational success, which also means we'll talk about how you can actually, hopefully, get into your dream university. We're going to start in a bit, but first, I would like to remind all of you that we're going to have a Q&A session later on. So scan this barcode. Feel free to scan it. It will hopefully pop up somewhere on the screen and send in your questions. On with the speaker introductions. Today, we'll have a special speaker from Sun Education, the product manager of North America. Please welcome Miss Eliana Maria. Hi, Miss.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
good. Thank you for introducing me, Jessica.
No problem. So today we are going to talk more about studying in North America. Maybe in contribution to that, you can explain to us about studying there and, the things we should look out for with your presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll cover
On
that.
with it.
Okay, so let me share my screen, first of all, so that you can see my presentation. Okay, so let's just dig in. Once again, good afternoon, all IPECA students. I'm glad to see you again this afternoon. My name is Eliana Maria, the product manager for USA and Canada from Sun Education Group. I have actually been speaking to some of you a couple of weeks ago, so I'm glad that I could be back. And this time we will cover exclusively your study opportunities in North America. Earlier, Jessica has already mentioned that North America means USA and Canada. So we're going to dig deeper and we will talk about some admission procedures this afternoon. Are you ready? All right. So for those of you who are watching this session, I believe that you have some sort of interest in studying in USA or Canada, because otherwise you won't be here, right? So let me first of all start with the why. Why do you want to study in North America? Why do people choose to study in North America? I think there are some common reasons behind that. Let's look at them. First of all, United States and Canada are well known by their world-class learning institution. Okay, if you look at the best 1,000 universities in the world, almost half of them are actually located in North America. So that speaks volume about quality. I think quality of North American education is unquestionable here. I hope you agree with me. The second reason why people choose to study in North America, especially in USA, is because US is well known to have the biggest funding in research and development. Okay? So your professors there are not just teachers who can teach theory to you. They are actually practicing their own field. They are involved in research and development. They are the forefront leaders in research. And you as a student, even if you are an undergraduate student, you can also be involved in research and development, of course, under the supervision of your professor and probably the teaching assistant. But that opportunity is there for you if you want to grab it. And then, due to this big funding from government or sometimes from private sectors, no wonder that there are so many innovations and technology advancements being found in USA. This article clearly says that Universitas Amerika Serikat merajai jumlah paten terbanyak dunia terkini. Okay, so this is another good reason to study in North America. The next one, the third one, which is the one that you will love the most. Okay? Education in USA, especially, is well known for its flexibility. What does flexibility mean? Okay? Flexible here means that you are not required to choose your major from the very beginning. When you apply to university, you can apply as an undeclared student. Undeclared means you are not sure yet what kind of major you want to do. That is completely normal and that is completely okay. In US, during your first year of study, you will actually learn general education. General education means that you need to try and taste several subjects from different fields. You're going to learn language, you will learn mathematics, arts, science, as well as social science or humanities. These are all compulsory. So you're going to have a chance to taste different field of subjects before you choose your specialties. In the second year or in the third year, then you will need to choose your major. Okay, so this is what I call as anti-galau solution for you guys. Okay, why? Because it's completely understandable if you can't choose a specific major at this point of time. Okay, you can wait till later and you can explore several courses first in university to get to know what the university offers. Aside from the flexibility, US is also known as a country who offers a wide range of specialty degrees. Do you want to take a guess how many majors are available in USA? Anyone? I hope I can see your hand being raised. I hope I can hear you, but since I couldn't, let me just tell you the answer. In USA, there are 1,800 different majors available. Yes, you hear it correctly. 1,800 different majors. And some of them are very specific. Let me just give you a few examples. Okay, these are only few examples. From this example, you can see, for instance, I wrote down aerospace engineering. Okay, aerospace engineering is actually part of mechanical engineering. It's a specialization of mechanical engineering. So you don't just learn any mechanical, but you learn about the mechanics of plane, aeroplane, or maybe aerospace plane, outer space plane, I mean. Okay, so it's very, very spatial, very, very focused on aerospace engineering. Another example, as you can see here on my screen, we also have cancer and molecular biology. Okay, it's part of science faculty, it's part of biology, but it's not just any biology. It's a specific biology. You're going to learn about cancer and molecular biology only. Cybersecurity, okay, it's actually part of computer science, but you're going to learn specifically on how to protect your data, how to protect your system, and prevent any hackers from accessing your system. That's cybersecurity. So these are just few examples. Okay, I can go on saying few more things. Let's say neuroscience. Anyone know what neuroscience is? It's a study of your brain, about how your brain works. Petroleum engineering here is not just any engineering. It focuses on learning about petrol, okay? The process, the use, the finding of petrol, etc. And this might be interesting for you. I also have sport management and marketing. So if any of you are thinking, Oh, I like to be the manager of Manchester United one day, for example. Okay, this is probably the right major for you. Learning about management and marketing, but especially in the field of sports. So again, these are just few examples. Basically, I would say that any field of study that you like to do, I'm almost certain that we have some kind of major related to your dream job in USA. Coming to the fourth reason, okay, this is more towards Canada. In the past few years, Canada is rising as a favorite destination for Indonesian students. More and more students who are thinking of going to Canada in the past 3 to 4 years. Why? Because Canada is ranked as #1 country with the best quality of life. They have been holding this #1 position for the past 5 years. So it started in 2016. I've been sending more than 100 students to Canada, and none of them says that they regret their decision. None of them. They love Canada. It's a nice place to live. It's a nice place to study. It's a good place to work. Some of them even wants to stay longer after graduation, and some of them even try to apply for permanent residency in Canada because they love the country. So that's another thing to consider. Aside from US, you also have Canada as an option. It's just in the neighborhood of USA. And the last one is the work opportunity. Okay, so after your graduation from any US or Canadian institution, you will be allowed to work in the country for 1 to 3 years, depends on the major of your choice. And then in Canada, especially, there are some universities who allow students to do internship. So they have this integrated curriculum in which students will alternate between study and work. So one semester they study at school, the second semester they work in a company. The third semester they go back to school, the fourth semester they work again for the full semester, and so on. So by the time of graduation, your resume is no longer a blank sheet. Okay? You will have maybe 4 to 5 work experience, and that will certainly help you to find job after graduation. Aside from the internship program, of course, you can do part-time work during your study. You can do it in the evening or maybe during the weekend. That is allowed in USA and Canada. So after knowing why you want to study in US or Canada, the next question is, what's the next step? Okay, you are in high school right now. Some of you are probably in grade 12, and you need to make decision very soon about your further study. So what are your next steps? In USA, you have 3 different paths that you can choose from. Let me explain them to you one by one. The first one, the one on the left here, okay, written in the red box, is a direct entry to university. Let me say this to you, especially if you come from IPK National Schools. Okay? Indonesian students graduating from national school or international school can go directly to universities. That's called direct entry. Okay? So you can directly apply to university and directly start your study from the first year with no foundation or bridging program. So you're not wasting your time. Okay? Your, we call it surat keterangan lulus, okay, from Indonesian government, is actually acknowledged by US and Canadian institutions. In US and Canada, to earn an undergraduate or bachelor degree, you normally spend 4 years in university. Okay? However, to do direct entry to university, you need to meet certain criteria, and it's quite competitive, or let me say it's very competitive. Okay? Of course, first of all, you need excellent grades. Okay? I say excellent, not just good, because good is not good enough. After that, you need to be fluent in English. Okay, you need to have good English score. And then you also need to have an SAT in order to do direct entry to university. Okay? So these three things you need to have in order to do direct entry. The second option, another favorite option by Indonesian students, is the one I have on the right here, inside the yellow box. This is what we know as the 2+2 program, meaning that you spend your first 2 years in a community college. After that, you transfer to university, starting from the 3rd year, and you study for 2 more years in university. So in total, you will still spend 4 years for your bachelor degree, okay? The same length as direct entry to university. What's the difference? Mostly, Indonesian students choose the 2+2 program because this is the cheapest option, or I will say the most economical option. Okay, so they don't choose this path because they can't get directly into university, but many students choose this path because it is the most economical. Why is that so? Because the tuition fee at community college is only about 1/3 or 1/4 of the tuition fee in university. The third option is the one in the middle here, in green boxes. Okay, this is what, in my personal opinion, is the best option. Why? Because first of all, this program was created specifically for international students. Okay? So many of Sun Education partner universities in USA and Canada understand that international students might have difficulties adjusting with American classroom. We are so used to learning our own language, and our culture is so different from theirs. The way the teachers teach, the way the students learn are very different. That's why they create this pathway program to help Indonesian students transition smoothly to university study. So what's the difference between the green one and the red one? Okay, here's the difference. For pathway program, you will still go to university. So since day one, you will study in university. But during your first year of study, you will be given some additional courses. Okay, so this is a plus point for you. Nggak rugi. On the other hand, you get something additional. What kind of additional courses? Usually, they will give you additional courses in English, study skill, and career preparation. Some of you might say, well, I have good English. I can comprehend English. I can speak in English. Why do I need to study English again? The English support courses that the university give you is not the day-to-day English language. It's not about learning how to use language. It's more towards academic language. Okay? If you are from ISCS, probably you are pretty much ready to study in university directly because you have learned a lot of academic English while in high school. But from friends from National High School, I would strongly suggest you to go through this pathway program instead of the direct entry. Why? Because it will give you smoother transition. For example, in academic English, you're going to learn how to do citation. Okay? Citation is very important in academic context. ISCS students can vouch me for that. If you do citation wrongly, you get 0 for your project or for your report. And American universities use different kind of citation, different from Indonesian. They use APA for their, the students need to follow the APA rules. So you need to learn how to create a report using the American system. Okay? So that is why universities give you additional courses. It's only for the first year. When you go to the second year, there will be no more additional courses. You will go to regular university classes just like any other students, because by then you should be ready to study independently without further support from the international team. So in order to go into any one of these options, what are the admission requirements That must be your next question. I'm glad you asked. Here are the admission requirements. There are two types of admission requirements. First of all is the academic requirements. Okay, during the application process, you're going to need to submit your high school transcript, aka your report card, from grade 10 to grade 12, and they must all be translated to English. And then we're also going to need your high school diploma. High school diploma is basically the graduation certificate, either from the school or from the government. Surat keterangan lulus. Okay, or for ISCS student, it's actually your HSC certificate or your IB diploma certificate. So, what's the minimum score requirement in order to get into universities or college? Well, since we have 3 different pathways, the minimum requirement also vary. Okay? For direct entry to university, the one on the left here, the requirement is of course the highest. And university never publish minimum score. There is no such thing as minimum requirement to go direct entry to university. Why? Because every single year, you're going to need to compete with other applicants. For example, if you have a score of 80, 80, okay? Is 80 good? 80 is actually a good score. Okay? But if all other applicants have a score of 90, then who do you think the university will accept? They will accept them. Okay? On the other hand, you could be having a score of 80 and all other applicants are having a score of 70 or 75. In that case, you will be the one accepted by university and not them. Okay? So you will need to get the best and the highest score possible because you're going to need to compete with other applicants. While for the third option here, okay, this option also allows you to study directly in university with some additional courses. And this option has minimum guaranteed score. It usually is only around 70 to 75%. So it's not so difficult to go into this pathway program. In a way, it kind of gives you second chance to go into good universities with slightly lower grades. Okay, back to admission requirement. Other than the academic requirements, of course, the second type of requirement is English requirement. You need to show that you are capable of understanding and communicating in English. And how do you prove it? You need to sit for an international test. There are 2 types of tests you can choose. Just choose one of them. Don't do both. Okay, they are quite expensive. So just choose one of them. You can either do IELTS or you can do TOEFL IBT. IBT is the internet-based test. Okay, we no longer accept paper-based. Okay? It's long outdated. And then every university have their own minimum English score. Some of them could accept a 5.0 IELTS score, but some other universities may require you to have a 6.5 IELTS score, for example. Okay, so you need to check the minimum requirement, or you can just consult with any of Sun Education staff so that we can tell you what's the requirement, what's the minimum English requirement for your dream university. Some other university also allow you to take a different kind of English exam, for example, Duolingo, PTE, which is the Pearson test, Pearson, or maybe they have internal tests by their own. Okay? So again, to be safe, you can either choose IELTS or TOEFL because all universities and all colleges accept either IELTS or TOEFL. But if you want to go for something cheaper in price, okay, you can check with us whether the institutions that you're going to accept Duolingo, PTE, Pearson, or even internal tests. So 2 requirements, okay, academic and English. Aside from these 2, is there any additional requirement? Sometimes it is required. Depends on the university of your choice and depends on the program of your choice. For example, some university might want you to include a resume. Resume is basically a list of activities that you do while you are in high school. They want to know whether you can do something else other than studying. They want to know whether you have contribution to the community. They want to know whether you have learned some kind of leadership skill in organization. Okay, so you can write down your participation in events. Maybe you are involved in OSIS. Maybe you become the captain of the basketball team at your school. You can write it down as your resume. The second one, sometimes, especially top universities, they may require you to do personal statement. Personal statement is different from resume. Okay? In personal statement, you don't tell them about your study background. You went to so-and-so primary school, so-and-so junior high school. That's not personal statement. A personal statement is basically your chance to sell yourself to the university. It is usually a one-page essay, about 600 words, and you need to explain what kind of person you are and why the university needs to accept you as their student. That's personal statement. The next one is SAT. I've said it earlier. SAT is needed only if you do direct entry to universities. Anyone know what's the maximum score in SAT? Maximum score in SAT is 1,600. Okay? And what is considered as good score? Again, for direct entry, university usually do not state the minimum SAT score required. You just need to do and get the best score possible. But let me give you examples from statistics. Okay? Based on statistics, if you're aiming at UC Berkeley, I would say that you need a score of 1,400 or above in SAT to get a better chance in admission. One thing you need to understand about UC Berkeley is there are so many students applying and so little students accepted. For example, you can verify my information from their own website. Last year, there were 17,000 students, international students from all around the world, applied to UC Berkeley, and only 1,500 students accepted. So it is less than 10%. Okay, that's why your academic score and your SAT score and your resume must be excellent, must be above average, above good even. Okay? If you are still in grade 10 or grade 11, you still have time to build your resume and your score. The next one here is the interview. Okay, some universities require an interview, some don't. And interview is especially important if you are applying for scholarship. And the last one is portfolio. This is for you who are aiming at creative arts program, such as, let's say, animation, film production, music, theater. Okay? You need to submit portfolio so that they can assess your creative mind or creative ability and whether you are suitable for the program. Portfolio could be drawings, could be painting, photograph, or if you're applying for music program, it will be a recording of yourself playing music. If you are applying for theater, then maybe you record yourself doing monologue. Okay, there are many kinds of portfolio. If you have no idea on how to build your portfolio, I have a good news for you. Okay, one of my close partner, which is Vancouver Film School, is going to have an online workshop on building portfolio. It's coming in October, 20-something October. I can't remember the exact date. Okay, but it's online. It's free. You can join it if you like. Okay, I have joined one of their sessions, and it really blew my mind. Okay, before I joined the session, I had no idea how to create portfolio. After I listened to the workshop, I kind of understand what I need to do in creating portfolio. So I highly recommend you to join the session. You can contact one of Sun Education offices and let us help you to register to that free workshop. All right, here I just want to show you that Sun Education is actually partnering with a number of universities in USA and Canada. You have a lot of choices here. Some are in the West Coast, some in the East Coast, some in the middle. So again, you have plenty of choices. We can always help you. We can give you advice to find the most suitable university for you. And if you have no idea at all of what US university looks like, I want to show you this short video. It's just 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, it will give you some idea about what university in US looks like. This video is created by University of Utah, which is located here, somewhere in the middle of US. Okay, and let's see.
Welcome to Imagine You. 1,534 acres of you can achieve anything. Here, the state's most distinguished faculty does more than simply transfer knowledge. They inspire new generations of thought leaders, creative thinkers, problem solvers, and community healers. It's a place where humanity in all its diversity is celebrated, and humanities as a discipline is still championed. We are, after all, a place of higher learning. You see a collection of buildings: steel, concrete, brick, and glass, some old, some new. But inside these buildings, there are no ceilings for your ideas, no walls for your dreams. So come and let your imagination do what it was meant to do: fly.
All right. So what do you think? Okay, when I ask students about what they think, most students will say, wow, the university is very huge. Okay, well, that's the standard size of US and Canadian university. It is huge. It consists of many buildings. If you try to explore the whole compound on foot, okay, if you go, walk, and visit every single building, it probably takes you about 1.5 to 2 hours to cover the whole area. Okay, that's why in most university, they provide students with shuttle bus so that you can go from one building to another without getting tired in the journey. Okay, coming to the towards the end of my presentation, let me show you the yearly cost estimation for studying in US or Canadian university. Because we have options, we have direct to universities, we have pathway, and we have community college. Of course, the course will also vary. Okay, for example, in US, the most affordable cost written here is for community college. While for university, it could be double, triple, or even quadruple of that value. Okay, for example, here I put 60,000. Do you know which university costs you $60,000 per year? It's Harvard University. MIT is also close to 60,000, okay, because they are private universities. UC Berkeley, for example, it costs around $45,000 per year, while many other universities are in the range of $30,000 per year. Okay, so you can choose universities that suits your budget. Living cost also varies because it really depends on how you spend your money. Okay, if you want to stay in a single room, in a really nice apartment and keep eating out every single day, of course it will be costly. But if you don't mind staying in a homestay, okay, homestay means you stay with local family, with bule family. Okay, they will provide you with meals 3 times a day, and you can save a lot of money by doing so. In Canada, also, it ranges, okay? But the good things about Canadian institution is the lowest range here, 16,000, could be applicable for bachelor degree as well. Okay? In USA, the lowest amount here is only for community college, which means you cannot get an undergraduate degree or a bachelor degree there, you have to move to university in the third year. But in Canadian institution, you can stay in college up to graduation from bachelor degree, and you can keep the same amount of tuition fee, which is around $16,000 or $18,000. And the Canadian dollar is also cheaper when you convert it to Indonesian rupiah. Another good news is this fee has not included scholarship. There are several scholarships offered by universities. They are not full scholarship, but this is helpful. Okay? It's going to help your parents pretty much. So again, you can consult with us to get to know the amount of maximum scholarship from each university. And these are renewable. Some of these scholarships are renewable, meaning that the second year you can get the same amount, third year you can get the same amount, etc. Also, if you study in USA and Canada, I will advise you to go sightseeing during holiday, okay, because there are many beautiful sceneries that you can see in the country. For example, here you can see Golden Gate in San Francisco, Liberty Statue in New York. If you like to watch basketball, you can watch NBA live. And if you like to go hunting for food, this is a famous Mexican food, taco, in USA. Similarly, for Canada, you can go to Niagara Falls. Okay, here on the left, this one is Mount Whistler near Vancouver. This is Banff National Park in Alberta, and another famous food from Canada. Not the pancake, but the syrup. Okay, it's called the maple syrup. Bottom line, Sun Education is working together with IPK. We are here to be your one-stop solution for all your education needs. So everything that you need, start from consultation, document translation, visa application, housing application, even English preparation, you can find at Sun Education. And if you do not know it yet, you as IPK student have special benefits at Sun. These are the list of benefits that you can claim from Sun Education. You can get free English placement tests. It's like a tryout for IELTS or TOEFL, so to get to know your English level. And if you need additional English course, you can get 20 to 50% discount of the tuition fee. And when you apply to selected institution, we can also give you application fee waiver, meaning that you do not need to pay the application fee. On top of that, let me tell you that Sun Education does not charge any service fee. Okay, we do not charge service fee to our clients. This is another way of finding information. We have mobile apps. You can download it from Google Play or App Store. You can find the list of universities and the list of programs, including the tuition fee, so that you can browse all the information at your fingertips. We are also going to have international education exhibitions on October 11 and 12, actually. A registration is closing soon this Friday. So if you're interested in meeting one-on-one with the college representative, okay, so you're going to meet the staff from the university, not meeting me. Okay, you can register for this event simply by going to this link, expo.suneducationgroup.com. That marks the end of my presentation. Okay, I hope it's been beneficial. I'm gonna take some questions right now. And if you need further contact Sun Education, you can reach us from Instagram or from WhatsApp, or just Google us. You can find the phone number of the nearest Sun Education branch. All right, back to you, Jessica.
All right, thank you so much for the presentation, Miss. Now we're going to continue on to the Q&A session, and we have a few questions here. So I'm probably going to start off with the first question. Which university is the most popular, and which area in the United States that consists mostly of Indonesian or has a big amount of Indonesians in it? And what is the most wanted or the most interested major in the United States? Because I heard like UC Berkeley is pretty popular and Seattle is filled with Indonesians, but what do you think about it?
Okay, so this is a good question. Okay, Basically, for many Indonesian students, they like to go to the West Coast simply because it's the nearest area to Indonesia. Okay, by saying nearest, that means around 7 plus 9 hours, so total of 16 to 17 hours of flight. Okay, but that's the nearest area. So most Indonesian students will go to either California or Seattle area or New York. Okay, these are the top 3 destinations for Indonesian students. What kind of major do they do? Well, it varies. Okay, US is well known for its research and development. That's why many students choose to study STEM. STEM is an abbreviation of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, but if you're interested in some other area, there is nothing's wrong with that. Okay.
All right. Okay. How about like the difference between the work permit and USA? Because, even though they're near each other, like USA and Canada, there are obviously a few differences. Like, what are the difference between the work permit in USA and Canada, especially after graduation? And why do some universities in Canada don't allow you to work part-time as a student?
Okay, that's a very good question. In terms of working experience, okay, Canada is more lenient in a way that after you graduate, you can directly apply for a PGWP visa. That is a postgraduate working program visa. And it's almost certain that you're going to get it. While in US, you need to get a job offer first before you apply for the visa. So that's the difference. Okay, you have a better chance working in Canada compared to USA. And then in terms of part-time work in US, while you are studying, you are only allowed to work on campus. On campus means inside the university compound. So for example, you can work in the library, in the computer lab, in the gym, okay? Or if let's say your university have Starbucks inside the campus, you can also work there as a barista. While in Canada, you can work everywhere.
Now, on to like getting into the university. Like, do all US and Canada universities offer like a pathway program? And again, like sometimes testing can get really confusing. For example, SATs. It's not really required in Canada, from what I hear. Yep, and there are a few different types of tests of SAT, like general tests and subject tests, and then there's ACT. Which one do you recommend?
Okay. Well, SAT and ACT are quite similar, so you just need to choose one of them. Okay, I think it's much easier for you to do SAT tests. There are more SAT test centers in Jakarta compared to ACT test center. So I will advise you to go for SAT if it is required by university. Again, it is only required by US university. Okay, so Canadian universities don't recognize SAT. It has no value if you want to apply to Canadian university. Okay, SAT is only needed if you want to go direct entry to universities. And some university require you to do subject tests. Okay, for example, UC Berkeley, even though its subject test is not a requirement, it will help you to give you a better chance of acceptance at UC Berkeley.
So basically, we're just like kind of following what the university requires and asks us to do, right?
Yes, that's true. Every university has a policy.
So do all US and Canada universities provide pathway programs?
Okay. Again, a good question. Not all of them provide pathway programs. Okay, especially if you aim at very, very top universities, they don't provide pathway program. You basically need to compete with the local or American students to get the limited spot that they have. So SAT will be something that you need to do. There is no pathway program for top universities.
All right. So again, like, US and Canada universities offer a huge amount of majors. Which university would be like best in gender studies? And maybe you can recommend some universities that's best in maybe computer science or any other fields.
Okay. Well, I rarely get any inquiry in gender studies, so I can't recall it on top of my mind. But for some other field, I could. For example, if you're interested in aerospace engineering, okay, you can go to Kansas University. They have some kind of work relationship with NASA. So some of their students can
Oh,
actually do internship at NASA. That's cool, right?
that's really cool.
When I visited Kansas University, I met with a female student who is doing internship at NASA. That was really cool. And then, for example, if you are aiming at computer science or maybe actuarial, I could advise you to go to Waterloo University in Canada. They are well known for their mathematics faculty. So everything to do with number, they are one of the best. Or if you're interested in cybersecurity, for example, nowadays all transactions are done online and you need to make sure that your data are secured. No one can steal your data. That's what you learn in cybersecurity. Okay? George Mason University. It is near Washington, D.C. Okay? It's about, 40 minutes by train from Washington, D.C. They are one of the best in cybersecurity. And it's located near CIA office, Langley. If you probably have seen it in some movies, right? That's why cybersecurity is really a top major in the area.
Ah, I see. And also talking more about working there or permits, us as immigrants or trying to study in a foreign country, we will require to have like many permits. How many years does
Mhm.
the PGWP permit last? And maybe I'm not really familiar with this permit. Maybe you can like tell
Yep.
us and if there are some people who are not familiar with it as well.
Okay, so it's different. I mean, USA and Canada have different policy. In USA, the visa is called OPT, Optical Practical Training. It may last between 1 to 3 years, depends on your major. So if you graduate from STEM major, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you can work there up to 3 years. But if you graduate from other majors, you can only work in USA for 1 year. That's for USA. Okay. While for Canada, regardless of what major you are studying, you can work there up to 3 years. That's why I said that Canada is more lenient in terms of working visa. And before the 3 year is up, you can even try applying for permanent residency if you like.
All right. Now, still about the work permit there, obviously. I hear in USA you have like after you graduate, so your student visa lasts for 5 years. And after you graduate, you have one spare year to kind of find a job. And what happens if you can't find like a job if you're not employed? Do you get sent back to Indonesia or?
Yeah. Practically after the end of your course, you only have around 60 days to leave the country. Okay, so if you can't find job within that 60 days, then you need to leave the country first. You can continue finding job from Indonesia. And once you get a job offer, you can file in the visa application.
All right. Okay, we're actually like running out of time, and I'm so sorry, everyone, for all of your questions who are not able to be answered. But for those unanswered questions, they will be sent into Miss Eliana's email, which will be in the description of this video as soon as this video airs. Now, time actually flies so fast, everyone, and thank you so much, Miss Eliana. On behalf of all of Ipeka's family, Ipeka's body, and everyone who's listening or tuning in right now, I would like to thank you so much for sharing all of these facts about the education system in North America. And thank you so much for taking your time down and coming down here to this session and fitting us all into your day.
I hope it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and have a good one, Miss. And hopefully we'll see you somewhere next time. Bye, Miss.
You too, have a good day. I hope to see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye, Miss. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Now, anyway, it was actually really fun, guys, and I'm so sorry that we're actually running a bit out of time. For all of you who are still tuning in and listening in to this session, there will be a barcode over here somewhere on the screen later on that will pop up to record your attendance. right, I'll give you around like 30 seconds to fill it in. And maybe, share some quotes, which is the same quote on my reminder, which is, if you don't do your best now, you're going to regret it later, which means you don't want to be that person who kind of like looks back and think that you could have done better. You should be doing your best right now. So when you're in the future, even if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be, you're still going to look back and think, oh, wow, I did my best, and you will have no regrets. Now, thank you for filling in the attendance, and thank you so much for joining me and Miss Eliana. But before we end this session, let's pray. Okay. Dear God, thank you so much for blessing us throughout this entire session. I really hope this session can be a blessing to every single one of them, and I hope this can be productive and helpful to all of them in the future. In the name of you we pray, Lord. Thank you. Amen. Now, we are at the end of this session, and thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this session and sending in your questions. And again, I would like to apologize for those questions who are not answered. I'm going to remind you that all of those questions who can't be answered will be sent to Ms. Eliana's email, and Ms. Eliana's email will be on the description box later on when this video airs. I hope you can all learn something new about the admissions process in North America. And I hope this session became a blessing to all of you. And I wish you all the best for your future, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. My name is Jessica Quinn, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope to see you guys somewhere in the future. Bye.